Right. So the next step of this process is to make a diagram that shows the travels of your carbon atom through all the various locations in the carbon cycle. All right. So this is going to start with kind of a map that shows all the different places that the carbon could be. So one of the places that the carbon could have been was the soil. So I'm going to add some soil here. That's one of the places where my carbon can be. Another place that my carbon could have been is plants. So I'm going to add that. Another place that my carbon could have been is animals, and I'm terrible at drawing animals, so I'm just going to draw some ants, and those are going to be my animals. And I know those don't even look much like ants. Um, the carbon atom could also be in the atmosphere. It could be in the surface ocean. It could be in the deep ocean. And it could be stored in the form of fossil fuels. Oops. Fossil fuels deep below the Earth's crust. All right. So your basic diagram is going to look something like this. Ideally, it would look a little bit nicer than what I'm drawing, but I understand that many of you have no more artistic ability than I do. So this is it would be acceptable in terms of the quality. And then what you're going to do is you're going to draw arrows from each existing location in your data table to the next location. So I started in soil, so I'm going to draw an arrow from soil, and I went to plants, so I'm going to draw an arrow to plants. So that takes care of my initial location here. And then I rolled two repeats in plants. So I'm going to add these little curves showing that I stayed in plants twice. And then I moved to animals. So I'm going to draw an arrow going to animals. And then I stayed in animals four times. So I'm going to draw four curves. One, two, three, four, showing that I stayed in animals. And then I went from animals to the atmosphere. And you're going to have a lot more arrows. You're going to have a lot of, but I only visited four locations in the example that I gave you. You're going to see all seven locations. You should go to each location separately at least three times, and you're going to have a bunch of these repeats. So use a big sheet of paper for this. Try to make it large so that you can fit all your arrows and your curves on there. And then make sure that as you are making your diagram, that you're thinking about the idea that what this is really showing you is how long those carbon atoms are staying in each spot once it's gotten there, and overall how much time carbon is going to spend in all these various locations. For now, that's all we're really worried about. For now, we're just thinking about where is carbon at any one given time, how is it kind of spread out in the earth, how does it get from one place to another, and what does it look like if it stays in the same place for a while. Down the road, we're going to use this information to think about climate change and why it is that the carbon cycle is so critical for thinking about how our Earth's climate is changing.